Have you ever wondered what the real solution to procrastination is? Is the answer simply forcing yourself to complete your tasks? If that were true, then your problems would have ended long ago, but they didn't. The truth is this: your mind should be able to perform a task without any internal conflict. That is the true solution, and that is the mental state you and I must reach. Let me explain this with a simple example. Imagine you have a project that must be completed by tomorrow. You genuinely want to finish it, but right now you don't have the mood. You don't have the interest, and you don't feel like starting. But still, you can't avoid it. Somehow, with distractions in between, you force yourself through it and finish it. Yes, the project is complete, but your real problem is still unsolved. Now imagine the same situation differently. You know the project must be completed today. Your mind starts thinking, how do I get this done? You create a clear plan. You enter the task, and surprisingly, you finish it much earlier than expected. The difference between the two situations is just one thing. In the second scenario, you didn't waste even a moment thinking, should I do it or not? You simply did the task. And this exact mindset is the real solution to procrastination. It may sound difficult right now, but getting into this state is actually very simple. So let's dive in. Years ago, biologists began studying squirrels, how they store food, how they escape danger, and how they adapt to new environments. But after months of observation, they discovered something unexpected, a unique mental trait they called automatic positive bias. Compared to other animals, the squirrel's amygdala, the fear center of the brain, is very small. This fearless mode allows squirrels to jump 30 feet from one tree to another without thinking about failure. Their entire brain focuses only on the action ahead, not on the possibility of falling. Of course, this doesn't mean everything they do is perfect. They make mistakes too. But scientists were shocked when they discovered something else. Most successful humans display this exact same mental pattern. They override doubt, fear, and anxiety with a powerful internal belief. I can do it. It may sound like a small detail, but this single trait separates them from 90% of the population. So what does this tell us? It tells us that the biggest obstacle between us and success is the fear we create in our own minds. Nature teaches us through the squirrel. Whatever scares you, whatever challenge stands in your way, jump toward Italiano. Don't drown yourself in endless planning, because planning creates a dangerous illusion. It makes you feel like you're working even when you're not. I am not saying planning is unnecessary, but action should come before planning. When you start working, your mind naturally forms the best plans. So like the squirrel that leaps 30 feet with full faith, you too must leap into action. Confidently, decisively, instantly. There will be mistakes. People might laugh. You may fall. But all of this is part of the process. Because when squirrels jump, they never think about failure, they only focus on the next branch. Charles M. Schwab, the owner of Bethlehem Steel Corporation, was going through a major problem. Company profits were dropping, and productivity was extremely low. He was struggling to compete with world-class companies. That's when Ivy Lee, a famous productivity consultant, walked into his life. He said, "I only need 15 minutes with the managers of each department, nothing more." This surprised Schwab because every consultant before him held 2 or 3-day training programs, and still, nothing ever changed. But the meeting happened. After exactly 15 minutes, Ivy Lee came out. Schwab asked him about his fee, and Ivy Lee's answer shocked him even more. "Use my method for 3 months. If you see improvement, pay me whatever you feel it's worth." 3 months passed, and when Schwab checked the numbers, he couldn't believe it. The company's profit had tripled. Quality hadn't dropped even a bit. Immediately, Schwab paid Ivy Lee $25,000, equivalent to almost $4.5 million today. Ivy Lee smiled and was about to leave when Schwab stopped him and asked for the secret. That secret is now known worldwide as the Ivy Lee method, one of the most powerful productivity systems ever created. Here's the method. Every night, before you sleep, write down the 3 most important tasks you must complete tomorrow. Not more than 3 rank Tim. Which one is the hardest? Which takes the most effort? That becomes task number 1. The easiest becomes task number 3. Next morning, focus only on the first task. Silence your phone. Keep it out of sight if you can. Don't do anything else. Don't even think about the other tasks. Once you finish the first task, tick it off. Move to the second, then the third. In the beginning, choose 3 tasks that you are absolutely sure you can finish. Slowly increase the complexity of each task, but never increase the number from 3 until it becomes a habit. Ideally, after 1 year. It might sound too simple, but this method has the power to transform your life. Why? Because you are eliminating the one habit that destroys productivity, multitasking, and you replace it with focused, deep work. Now let us talk about something most people do and realize. Your mind cannot fully understand certain words, like tomorrow, later, or after some time. The mind only experiences the present moment today. So when you tell yourself, I will do it tomorrow, the mind doesn't recognize a specific day or time. It cannot visualize tomorrow. It remains a vague concept. But if you say, on April 10th at 4 p.m., I will do this, your mind treats it as real because the time and date are real. The mind now knows that this task must be executed, and it begins directing your thoughts toward completing it. So stop using vague words and start using exact dates and exact times. Your brain will handle the rest. Now let's answer a common question. Why don't you feel like doing your tasks, even when you know you should? The answer is simple. Humans avoid tasks that require big effort, big energy, or hard work. And this is not your fault. Your mind is designed to save energy and resources. The natural state of the human brain is actually laziness. Peak productivity is a non-natural state. It requires training and effort. It must be maintained deliberately. So the real problem is not the task itself. The real problem is how your brain perceives the task. And we can change that perception with one powerful technique. The microtask method. Break any difficult task into extremely tiny, almost effortless steps. Let's say you want to go for a morning run. The moment you think about running, your mind gets tired and pushes you back into bed. But with microtasks. Step 1. Get out of bed. Step 2. Wear your shoes. Step 3. Step outside the house. Step 4. Take 2 steps. Step 5. Take 2 more steps. Without even realizing it, you're already moving. The same technique works for studying. If your task is to study, then your first microtask is simply to pick up the book. Your second is to read 1 single line. If your task is to work on a laptop project, your first microtask is to walk toward the laptop. The second is to turn it on. When you break tasks this way, the brain sees each small step as extremely easy, and every small completion releases dopamine, a mini reward that motivates you to complete the next slowly, without even noticing. You enter a state of flow and you finish the entire task. Let us talk about a powerful habit shared by Admiral William McRaven during the University of Texas graduation ceremony. Students expected a grand success formula, but McRaven said something so simple that everyone laughed. He said, "Make your bed every morning." He stood by his statement, because this tiny habit changed his entire life. Why? Because when you complete even a small task, your brain releases dopamine, the chemical of achievement. This gives you a sense of success at the start of your day. Your first task is already a victory. This momentum pushes you to continue the day with more achievements. Newton's law says, a body in motion stays in motion. This applies to human behavior too. If the first moment of your day begins with action, your mind tries to stay in motion throughout the day. When you make your bed, you're not just arranging blankets, you're arranging your mind. So make this your first victory every single morning. When the first task of the day is a win, the entire day becomes yours. Final message. Procrastination is not a time management issue. It is a mind management issue. Change the way you see your tasks. Act like the fearless squirrel. Break tasks into use specific times instead of vague words. Begin your day with a win. Stay in motion. You will transform your life. If this video opened up a new way of understanding your mind, take one tiny action right now. The same way we spoke about micro actions. Tap subscribe and stay with this community of people who are leveling up their minds every single week. And if you want to go even deeper, The next video on your screen is your next step. I'll meet you there.